How you doing, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen? I came to discuss Eli Cummings and Bernard Young. Eli Cummings, the representative of Baltimore, and the mayor of Baltimore, not to mention the chief of police of Baltimore, also, all African Americans, all black people, with a terrible rhetoric. And I just want to lay a picture out for you. This is not really causing a problem, but they're trying to infuse a problem with the rhetoric that's coming from Baltimore. And it may be from other sectors of the country in terms of creating a situation with the Trump administration. Eli Cummings held the chair in the House of Representatives. He shouted across the House of Representatives, basically subjecting ICE to be a inhumane group of people that are protecting our United States laws and our United States borders. ICE agents, federal agents. He never once spoke about Congress. He never once tried to balance the situation out or ask any questions in terms of what are they trying to do to fix the crisis at the border. He basically lured to the fact that our United States federal government has failed another country. Now, Eli Cummings is representing Baltimore. He's supposed to be, he's an African American, he's a black man, a foundational black person, hopefully. Hopefully he's not an immigrant himself, because we find out a lot of times people are immigrants. He's supposed to be representing the slave descendants in the black community. And you got Bernard, the mayor, also. But they're fighting for illegal immigration, which is terrible. That's not their fight. They have enough American citizens in the city of Baltimore to protect. They're worried about the border. And they can't even clean up Baltimore. Now they're coming out doing a press conference, the mayor, Bernard, in Baltimore, a predominantly black area, but now it's also invaded by illegal immigrants. Black people are terribly disdained with President Trump. That are not all of us, of course. A lot of us are not. Now I think it's the majority of us who are not. But what I'm saying is the ones who are really are. And they're trying to create a political, they're trying to infuse a political agenda. And that agenda is to say that President Trump is now racist, or they can prove it. He's going after racists. There's a image floating around and circling around Facebook saying that President Trump was racist toward another black politician. The word black, BLACK. They're infusing that word. They're infusing that word in front of immigration now. They're trying to put that word, because the immigration is not the immigration policy. The immigration thing is not working on us. It's not working on us. They can't say that he's a racist by illegal immigration. We understand the layout on that. We understand the laws on that. So they're now trying to infuse the word black in the sight of immigrants, illegal immigrants, slowly but surely. So that now black Americans who are linked to this country in terms of citizenship and the anchor of history, that we can become disdained more so with the Trump administration and become very upset and alarming about their fight. They want to use you for a pawn. And now it's not only the immigrants that are doing it and the white liberal media. It's also black liberals who are trying to infuse your anger and your disdain with the Trump administration in terms of that. And that's a manipulation. So because I look at Baltimore, I love people. I have a sister that teaches school. She lives in Baltimore. Baltimore has some great sides to it. And I look at Detroit, where I came from. I lived there all my adult life, and I lived in the Bloomfield Hills, of course. But I lived in the city of Detroit. I, was able to live there when it was beautiful, and I see it transform. But anyway, Baltimore is a city that hasn't been kept up properly. And the president referred to Baltimore as a rat-infested city and a high-crime city, or trash-infested, or high-crime, unclean city. And the tweet, I read the tweet myself. He was telling the truth about Baltimore. But wait a minute, Mayor Bernard and Representative Cummings, Eli Cummings, you guys want to be disdain with the president. You can say what you want to about how the president governed the United States of America. You can say that, but when he talk about how you govern your city, there's a problem. See, there's a problem. And you come out and you have an elegant young man who's a black guy, beautiful, elegant speaker in your press conference. Bernard, the mayor of Baltimore, who held a press conference about Donald Trump tweets. He wanted to make it look like the young man spoke very well, but they're making it look like Trump doesn't care about the city of Baltimore. Donald Trump has brought up the city of Baltimore multiple times on multiple occasions. He's released funding $100 billion to urban communities, and he talked about Baltimore and Detroit, Michigan. Now, if that is not transparent government, what is it? You see, black people are very disdained and becoming very wicked about the president due to what has happened to us concerning what has happened to us according to history and according to what's going on now. However, that has nothing to do with you fighting illegal immigration. And what you're doing is you're pot trying to call the kettle black. You talk about the president out loud, all on TV, all in the House of Representatives, talk about the border agents. I mean, referring to people as racist. Let me tell you, Eli Cummings, this is not a Martin Luther Jr. King situation, Mr. Cummings, sir. This is not a Martin Luther Jr. King march. This is not the Holocaust. People are locked in the border because they are committing crimes. They are migrating. They have not been forced to be here. They're not experiencing the Holocaust as a Jew in Germany. Those are not concentration camps. And as a matter of fact, Eli Cummings has not even took a visit to the ICE facilities before he started reprimanding ICE agents. And before he started having any rhetoric about what goes on in ICE facilities on the border. He started being presumptuous, and that altogether is outside intelligence. So you're wrong, period. And you're shouting, and this is not a Martin Luther King Jr. situation where you're trying to free a people. Your people is basically Eli Cummings, which are black people in Baltimore and in other districts of the world, are facing crisis in their community due to the brunt of the war on drugs we're experiencing. Remember, when crack cocaine was inserted, you need to be worried about the American citizens that are homeless outside your district. Black folks you're supposed to be representing, and both black and white that are out there, that are veterans, are standing on the corner instead of trying to infuse another country of origin inside our borders and become disdain with the president of the United States. This is how ignorant I think black people can be in dignitary status. You are a lawmaker and a government official, and you have using that power recklessly. Now you got young men in Baltimore making press conferences basically stating that Donald Trump tweets are racist. And people are going to follow that rhetoric. But I'm not going to allow my constituents or my proteges to follow it. That rhetoric. I'm going to educate. That is wrong. And yes, I am a black man in the country. I'm a black man first, but I'm not a fool. That is wrong, and I don't want to see my people minds finessed because you stand up in a suit and shout with a voice. Now the mayor Bernard in Baltimore is actually hurt right now because the president pointed to his situation. But the president is terribly disdained with you guys coming up against federal ICE agents when we're trying to keep this border and these people out this border. The president is winning on this. Democrats, you're making a fool out of yourselves. Period. You got that young man up there Bernard, the mayor of Baltimore. You got the young man up there. Poor baby. He's young. Look like he could be one of my sons. He's speaking about the city. He got an elegant tone. But he doesn't really have the knowledge of what's going on. You guys are manipulative. You can't understand. See, y'all created a communist government. It's already set in stone. How can you pull back from that? Do you realize some of what you guys doing, you might not be able to be forgiven for? Y'all going against your own people. This is my problem with you. It's not so much I'm trying to protect the president. I know the mayor of Baltimore and Mr. Eli Cummings and the House Representative of Baltimore is a threat to my people. It's a threat to me as a black person to try to get me to go against the Trump administration to save another people and help them invade my country illegally that I don't know nothing about. You worried about the border and you can't even fix Baltimore. And to lie and say that the president is not working with you in Baltimore when he just released $100 billion in urban communities, and he stated Baltimore was one of the first cities that should be collecting that funding. As a matter of fact, Mayor of Baltimore, where is the funding? You got citizens all through Baltimore. You got policy all through Baltimore. What's really going on? Are you not educated about your own district? You see, y'all think people are stupid. There'll be some black people that are really docile. They're docile. And they're going to follow that rhetoric because they want to. It's easier for them to do that. They're trying to impeach the president because the president is open and transparent government. And he's got people open where it's going to bring another power source into the frame. He's got people looking at people in a dignitary space, in a space of power, who've been manipulating power. And basically, you guys are like robots. You are puppets. Either you immigrants yourself or you're puppets. That's what we're looking at now. Black people protecting illegal immigration. That is not your best interest. These people have a country of origin. You don't understand how to fight. It's not about being nice. You are becoming a liar in order to get a point across, to try to infuse a manipulative, you're infusing manipulative rhetoric to make people go against the president because you are a puppet, basically. You are a puppet. How can I call it something else? The mayor of Baltimore is a puppet, and Eli Cummings, you just the old puppet. I'm sorry, I don't mean to disrespect my elders, because this man is old enough to be my grandfather, or maybe my grandfather. But dude, you can't sit in the House of Representatives and cuss and talk. Then he pulled back a few times, but he's pushing a political narrative, and he's being used. His career is important. He think as a black person, he made it somewhere. He's got a seat in government, and the agenda is illegal immigration, and it's about his career. I seen clean through it. And this is what I'm trying to get black folks to stop looking at. Please understand that the rhetoric and the dialogue is to persuade your minds. Yeah, this talk was about Eli Cummings, the mayor of Baltimore, and the young man who did the press conference. I'm watching the whole thing, and they're trying to infuse, even the Georgia lawmaker down here, they're trying to infuse a term, and that President Trump is against black and brown communities. That's what they're trying to do, but this was about illegal immigration. Now, the mayors and the black people and some of the liberals are trying to, and the illegals and the immigrants are trying to say it's about black and brown. But it's not. It's about immigration. Basically brown people that are not legally here. Okay? Thank you for joining me.